Yeah.
And just realizing that it's not only like my career, you know, the idea that purpose is just tied to my career,
Mm.
that's not
The
true.
myth.
Yeah, it's a myth.
Myth.
Your career is just your career, and
Mm.
your purpose is activation of the gifts that you already
Mhm.
have.
Your life
So,
work.
yeah. So, for example, for me, for years, I've worked in the corporate world, and stayed in the compliance space, in the research space,
Mm-hmm.
and God has been calling me to check on my own compliance,
All
right?
right now.
To make sure that my life is aligned to what He wants me to do. So,
Come on, Holy Spirit.
and I know how it is to be at the crossroads.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just recently, my company decided, it's time to go.
Mm.
Yeah. And that was something, even though I knew it
Mm.
was coming, I had it, I knew it was coming. I
Mm.
wasn't quite
Ready?
ready. Yeah.
Okay.
But God has been faithful because
Yes.
anything that happens, it wasn't like God wasn't,
It
a,
wasn't a surprise to
it
him.
wasn't a surprise for God. It might
Yeah.
have been a surprise for me, but it was never a surprise for God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all those voices, all those times that God has been depositing in my
Mm.
spirit saying, girl, it's time to move.
Yes.
And now it's like I I see what you were saying, Lord.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
not only does he leave me just like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself, but he provides,
Mm.
you know, he gives you the courage now to step up
Yeah.
and be
To
that voice.
arise.
Yeah, to
Arise.
rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even though it at first felt like a closed door,
Yeah.
it was not. It was a redirection.
Yeah.
It's like an activation. Let's just use your word,
Mm-hmm.
Shola. It's an
Mm-hmm.
activation. It's like
Yes.
now the light bulb is there. This is
Yeah.
what God is trying to tell me. Maybe I was
Yeah.
too stubborn to hear him.
Yeah. Yeah. Or too comfortable too.
Too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too comfortable, too like, but now God is saying, listen.
Hello, Irene. How are you today?
Hi, Shola. I'm
How
doing
are
well.
you?
I'm doing good.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we've already had a full year of 2026. We've had a snowstorm, we've had so much going on, but I'm so happy that we were able to connect today and have this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me in your channel. I'm really honored.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I know we've talked about meeting up and just having a girl chat because this is what this is going to be. It's going to be us just talking about life, talking about our journeys, talking about how, the life that we've lived can and continue to impact the people around us. And I am super excited to get into this conversation with you. And thank you for coming on to Activate Her Purpose, where we empower women to live boldly and step into our calling with confidence. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. But before we get into our conversation, I just want to share with our audience a little bit about you. In fact, I don't even know where to start, but let me just say that Irene is a clinical research and compliance leader with over a decade of experience in healthcare, specializing in regulatory compliance, institutional ethics, and human research protections. She most recently served as an institutional compliance manager at Memorial Sloan Kettering, with prior roles as a research project manager in pediatrics and a senior IRB privacy board analyst. Oh my gosh. Irene also holds a BS in biological sciences from Rutgers University and an MS in Clinical Research Administration from Walden University. She's a 2021 SRAI. Is that SRAI or SRI?
SRAI.
SRAI Future of the Field honoree and a 2022 MSK Research Administrator Award recipient and a seasoned national conference speaker and facilitator. Okay. I don't know how you fit all of this in your lifetime, but you just better go, girl. And today, Irene is passionate about helping professionals and aspiring entrepreneurs overcome self-doubt. Don't we all need that? And advance their careers, empowering women to step into their calling through faith, leadership, and legacy building. She lives in New Jersey with her husband and two children and is originally from Kenya. Shout out my African sister. She moved to the US in the early 2000s and is fluent in Swahili. And she loves teaching Sunday school and running and has a mini Irish poodle. I love it because I have a chocolate lab and we are dog lovers. But this running, I'm sure that's why you don't look a day over 28.
You're
But
amazing.
that's a bio that I know I've read off, but I know you are so much more than that. If you were to introduce yourself without mentioning all of your wonderful titles, who do you say you are and how does that feel to you?
Thank you so much, Shala. And like you said, this is just titles, and titles don't mean anything. I mean, it's good to, look back and see how many things God has been faithful to
Yeah.
help us do in our lifetime. But when I think about who I am, I want to say a peacemaker, you know. Just the
Yes.
background of my name, Irene. Irene means peace, right?
Peace.
Um, I think it's either Hebrew or Greek. One of them is
I didn't
peace.
know
So I
that.
do feel like my name aligns very well with who I am. And in various situations in my life, I have found myself being the mediator and being a peacemaker in situations that are kind of crazy
Yeah.
in my profession and also in my personal life. So I do feel like
Right.
sometimes where there are two people that are not seeing eye to eye, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of bring that voice of calm and reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have a way of just mediating
Yeah.
and bringing peace. So that's who I would say I am in a very short description. And one of the things that I would say is my core value is peace. You
Mm.
know, um, anytime there's like chaos around or whatever's happening, my goal is how can we resolve this? How can we see eye to eye?
Mm.
And that's close to home, and that's what I feel has led me in the path that, you
Mm.
know, the path that I've taken career-wise, the path that I've taken with my life, and I
Mm.
continue to take, always striving towards that
Mm.
core value. Yeah.
Amen. You know, there's a reason why I liked you from the very beginning, from the very time that we've met, because I feel like you describing that trait about you is exactly how I am. I find myself always being the peacemaker, and I've never
Right.
struggled with that. You know how some people have to build up that,
Yes.
muscle of being that person who finds the voice of reason. I've never struggled with that. So I really feel like that's a gift that God gives where, and even the Bible says that, is it that the peacemakers either will see God or they're the children of God?
Yeah.
I have, so I've always identified with that trait. And I feel like you said, it's not only good in your family setting but also at work because conflict happens wherever you find yourself. um,
Right.
you can't avoid it, and so for us of being someone who can bring the calmness to a situation, you will always thrive So I love that about you. Thank you. Yes.
Of course.
So in speaking of careers, I want to ask, and I'm curious because I know you have been a woman who has a lot of titles, a lot of academic backgrounds. In your career, what part of you do you think your career rewarded? Or what part of you do you think that career that you've had up to this point has ignored about you? Because sometimes you go into your career and they see some of the things that you can use on the job. But there's a whole nother side of us that maybe in your career you've never had to use. So what would you say your career rewarded you for, and what has your career ignored about you?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Um, as I think about my career, just being in the clinical research space,
Mm-hmm.
especially compliance,
Mm-hmm.
regulatory, being the person that always wants to be police, almost like a police, but not quite,
Mm-hmm.
telling others, what to do. And
Yeah.
um, so I do feel that God has led me into, the career choice that aligns more with who I am.
Mm.
So, for example, in compliance, basically, you have to be organized, you have to be a planner, you have
Mm-hmm.
to be very familiar with what the rules are, what the
Mm-hmm.
policies are, in
Mm-hmm.
order to help, you know, the rest of the investigators, the rest of the institution,
Yeah.
how to abide by the rules, by
Mm.
the regulations.
Yeah.
So being I feel like it comes naturally to me to be a planner,
Mm.
to organize, things and to plan ahead. It
Yeah.
comes naturally to me. So I feel like that part aligns very well with who I am career-wise, and it has helped me when I in my job, also personally too. I feel like, if I'm the planner of the family, if we have to go vacation, or if you have
Yeah.
to go somewhere, or even just
Yeah.
kids, naturally you have to make sure their schedules are on time and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that part has really helped in
Yeah.
that way. Um, and I feel like for the second part of it, that's kind of interest, because I feel
It's
I have
interesting,
used it.
right?
I have used it one way or the other. I was just thinking more like being uh, a public speaker.
Ooh, that's a
And
good one.
yeah, so one of the things that I would say, I didn't even know, but I think just life in general would throw things at you and you
Yeah.
naturally fall into them. So I feel like naturally public speaking
Mm.
has not been a struggle to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been comfortable, being the person that would present or to
Mm-hmm.
speak. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been like a struggle. I know some people really struggle with it.
Mm.
But I do feel some positions throughout my life have kind of shielded me towards that, away
Mm.
from that.
Yeah.
So I felt like kind of my light has been dimmed just because of the roles that I took,
Yeah.
roles that decided you're going to just be on the desk and
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then you feel like that part is kind of forgotten a little bit.
Yeah.
But then opportunities always arise. I feel like opportunities in throughout your life, throughout a career, rise to be the person that's going to speak confidently and speak
Mm-hmm.
like a public speaker.
Mm.
That has come and gone throughout my life, and
Mm.
um, I'm thankful for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's so true. We're so aligned because I'm also in the quality assurance space,
yeah.
software quality assurance, and I can relate where you have to be organized, you have to, see the details that maybe other people don't see, and that is something that's developed. Sometimes it comes naturally, but you definitely have to develop that. And but like you said, that public speaking, I love to collaborate. I love, collaborating with different people in different roles.
Hmm.
Um, but the public speaking part, ironically, just came up on a whim, and it just started to spark my interest. And I just was like, wait, there's a whole nother side of me that I need to start developing, hence our life group, hence this
Right,
YouTube channel, which was such, I'm telling you, it was such an obstacle, even though it always was in the back of my mind. But
right.
just when I started to like it and I started to hear other people's stories and it just ignites something in us. So I think you're so right about, that public speaking part. And I agree. You are such a I heard you speak the other day, give a presentation, and I was like, I have to get Irene on this channel.
Oh, thank you, Shala.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to pivot a little bit. And
Yep.
I know we all have things that we've always wanted to do when we were younger. Uh, we have all these dreams, but life's, and you find yourself in a certain spot, and you're like, okay, I guess this is the way we're going. But I want you to think back, and I want you to think about the young Irene and some of the things that if you met your young self today, what are the things that she would be so proud of? And she'd be like, yes, Irene, that's what I'm talking about. And what are some of the things that she would be like, I know you're not still struggling with that. I know you're not still struggling with that. So I want both sides, something that she would be proud of that you're doing now, and something that she would say, come on, girl, let's get it together.
Very, very true, Shala. And that puts me in a place where now I'm thinking about when I was younger and what did I want to do
Yeah.
growing up. So
Mm-hmm.
the first, I think when I was around 8 years old, my dad used to work for a pharmaceutical company,
Mm-hmm.
and he would bring in all this like pharmacy books at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to open them and look at them. They had like all these like cute drugs, like pills. And I
Pharmacy
was
books, Irene, at
pharmacy books
8.
at 8. And I would look at them. They were like colorful. And I'll be like, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a pharmacist, right?
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and I had it in my head that I would be a pharmacist when I grow up. I was that's the thing that I always just knew I was going to be. Here
No,
we
this
are.
before you continue, like this is eerie because I literally went to school thinking I was going to be a pharmacist
Oh my gosh, we are so much alike,
just
Shola. What is
because of the
happening?
white coat. I had no idea about this, about you. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
That is so interesting how much
Yes.
we have in
Hmm.
common, right? Anyway, here we are. Of course, I
Hmm.
didn't go through that route. I
Yeah.
tried, but it
Hmm.
just wasn't what God had in store for me. Even though
Yeah.
I did end up in clinical research,
Hmm.
healthcare,
Hmm.
it's very close because, we still have to, in the healthcare space, we
Yeah, it's
still have
still
to,
aligned.
the drug discovery going all the way
Hmm.
to FDA approval. So very similar, but not quite where I ended up. But I would say that I was very proud of the person that set those goals when
Mm.
they were little,
Mm.
and I stayed with it. I stayed with the goals that I had. I worked hard coming from Kenya.
Hmm.
I came here. I could have had a lot of distractions, obviously. There could have been discouragements with
Yeah.
other things. And I would have said, maybe that's not for me. But I did stay with education.
Hmm.
I did keep my head above and I just kept going. There was a lot of things that came along the way
Hmm.
that would have pulled me. Um, and I want to say the one thing that grounded me
Hmm.
was my faith in God.
Mm.
That grounded me, and just studying as a young person, I had Christ in me,
Hmm.
and having that faith and having that belief in God was always something that helped me through the
Anchor.
struggles and anchored me
Mm.
to stay. So I'm very proud of the person that I ended up where I am right now,
Yeah.
and for just not giving up, because there was
Yeah.
various times that I would have just walked away and like
Yeah.
said, forget this, I'm going to try something else.
Right.
But looking back, I said I stayed with it and I never gave up.
That's awesome.
However, there's there's the other part of
There's
my
always a
story.
however.
There's
There's
always a
always a
however.
however.
Yeah. So lately, God has been putting in my spirit about the dreams that is more than just the 9 to 5. As you're aware,
Hmm.
one of the reasons that pulled me towards your life group was, women in tech, women in business. And
Hmm.
that's the one of the things that the Lord has been really speaking in my heart about. You
Hmm.
know, life is not just about that. There's more than working for a company, working for an employer, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
But God has called us for a deeper purpose
The full
and
life. Yeah.
a full life. So I have felt more like wanting to align myself with what God really has called me to do. What's the purpose?
Mm.
And I have to say, I have been one of those people that have been being held back with doubt, fear,
Mm. Are real.
what if, I don't want to mess up what I have. I'm
Yes.
comfortable now. I'm okay now, tomorrow.
Yes.
And that voice has been, playing over and over. And, time doesn't wait for anyone. Time
Mm-mm.
moves. You say it's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow comes, another tomorrow, but
Yeah.
then, so right
Tomorrow never
now,
comes.
yeah, that's why one of the things that God has been putting in my heart heavy is to rise up and pivot.
Hmm.
And even though, yes, we have our 9 to 5, but your your experience that you get from your 9 to 5, whatever experience that you have gained all those years,
Hmm.
does not go in vain.
Hmm.
That's who you are.
Yeah.
That's your purpose. That's your experience.
Yeah.
So you can pivot that to align with what God is opening for you.
Yes.
It could be a business venture. It could be, you
Absolutely.
know, leadership. It
Mm.
could be anything that you feel like God has called you to do and you're holding back.
Mm.
God has been speaking to my heart to, you know, be a voice to the women
Mm.
out there who are holding back.
Yeah.
And yes, you have your internal compliance and you're very good to your job. You're very compliant to your job. But now it's actually time to align your purpose to what God has for you,
Expand.
to expand and not
Yeah.
to operate in fear.
Mm-mm.
Um, and then that's where I am right now. I am at the point where I'm activating my
Mm.
purpose.
All right.
I'm activating my
Hey.
purpose and aligning with what God has in store for me and inspiring other women to do the same.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Where do I even start? Is it the pharmacy? I feel like we
Too
are
much. Yeah.
too aligned, and I realized, and you're at least more on the path of, the sciences. I pivoted all the way to finance and tech, and I loved every minute of it. And I know that nothing is wasted. We're
Yeah.
always going to use bits and pieces of the things that we studied and the experiences we've had. So I love that answer. I love that, you're not just one thing. You're a whole a whole human being, a whole
Hmm.
woman that has different compartments that we can explore. There, we don't need permission to explore everything that God has put in.
Right.
And I love that sentiment. So even in that, it's a good segue to this question that I've always been curious about. That what was the moment that you realized that, okay, my identity is bigger than my resume? Like, I have a resume, everything looks good on paper, but I'm more than that. What was the moment that you realized that, okay, I need to start doing more? Or was there a moment? Or was it just gradual and just something nagging?
Yes. Thank you. So for me, I want to say it's just not a moment.
Yeah.
It has been a period of
Yeah.
time.
I
It
know.
has been a period of time. And like I said, it's been always there, especially now that we've seen the industry and the
Mm-hmm.
way the climate of everything, how everything is going. It's been something that has been going on inside,
Mm-hmm.
a voice that has been telling me, you
Mm-hmm.
need to move, girl. You need to get it together. And, you know, so I have not just only sat on that, but I've also started doing my own like little things in the background. Um, for example, attending, if it's something that I'm interested in learning,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to empower myself in one area, in a skill,
Mm-hmm.
I have got an interest in more real estate investing. That's one of the things that I feel the Lord is calling me to.
Yeah, I had a
And
conversation with Holly, Amina, so many women that talk
yes,
about that too.
I need to connect with her so I can
Yes,
get that. Yeah. But
absolutely.
that's one of the areas that I know is something that I'm interested in. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting myself more aligned with that,
Okay.
learning and getting myself more comfortable with that. And
Yeah.
just realizing that it's not only like my career, the idea that purpose is just tied to my career,
Mm.
that's not
The
true.
myth.
Yeah, it's a myth.
Myth.
Your career is just your career, and your
Mm-hmm.
purpose is activation of the gifts that you already
Mm-hmm.
have.
Your life
So,
work.
yeah. So, for example, for me, for years, I've worked in the corporate world and, stayed in the compliance space, in the research space,
Mm-hmm.
and God has been calling me to check on my own compliance, right?
All right now.
To make sure that my life is aligned to what He wants me to do. So,
Come on, Holy Spirit.
and I know how it is to be at the crossroads.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just recently, my company decided, it's time to go.
Mm.
Yeah. And that was something, even though I knew it
Mm.
was coming, I had it and knew it was coming. I
Mm.
wasn't quite
Ready?
ready. Yeah.
Okay.
But God has been faithful because
Yes.
anything that happens, it wasn't like God wasn't.
It
Oh,
wasn't a surprise to
it
him.
wasn't a surprise for God. It might
Yeah.
have been a surprise for me, but it was never a surprise for God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all those voices, all those times that God has been depositing in my
Mm.
spirit saying, girl, it's time to move.
Yes.
And now it's like I see what you were saying, Lord.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
not only does he leave me just like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself, but he provides,
Mm.
you know, he gives you the courage now to step up
Yeah.
and be
To
that voice.
arise.
Yeah, to
Arise.
rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even though it at first felt like a closed door,
Yeah.
it was not. It was a redirection.
Yes.
It's like an activation. Let's just use your word,
Mm-hmm.
Shola. It's an
Mm-hmm.
activation. It's like
Yes.
now the light bulb is there. This is
Yeah.
what God is trying to tell me. Maybe I was
Yeah.
too stubborn to hear him.
Yeah. Yeah. Or too comfortable too.
Too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too comfortable, too like, but now God is saying, listen, I
Mm.
have made the provision.
Mm-hmm.
I am leading the way. I am showing you this is the way. All you have to do is just listen and follow me.
Mm.
Obey my voice. I will teach you the way you should go. There's a scripture in the word, I believe it's Psalm 32, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I will teach you the way you
Where
should
you should
go.
go. Mm-hmm.
And when we just trust in the Lord
Huh.
and do not lean on our on understanding,
Okay.
God will teach us on the way to go. So
Okay. I didn't know you were coming here to preach today, Eileen.
I
But
was ready.
yes,
Yeah.
ready.
So God has been leading me. Um, and just showing me that my job title,
Mm.
you know, that's not in my value.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't tied to my success. And
Yes.
even in my new business, it's not tied to that. My
Yes.
identity is in Christ. You
Amen.
know, it's not
Mm.
about a new venture, it's not
Yeah.
about your
Yeah.
career, but
Yeah.
your identity is tied
In
onto
Christ.
Christ.
Mhm.
So that's how I have
Mm.
stayed afloat. That's how I am, you know,
Mhm.
I'm reclaiming my purpose
Mm.
and I am, you know, I'm becoming and joining you in a voice. to let the other women that, we do not have to live in fear. We do not
No.
have to live in, feeling depressed and feeling like you're suppressed, because
Mm,
sometimes society suppresses us, but we have to rise up and know that there's more. There's more, and God wants us to
yeah.
walk in that more and just be bold, be
Wow.
courageous. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Irene, for sharing that, for your vulnerability. Thank you for, because especially in this climate, a lot of people can relate to your story, can relate to, just being blindsided. And we have to come to terms with that, especially with everything going on with AI.
Yep.
This is something that I feel like will just be something that women especially have to pay attention to in the next couple of years, and understand that we need to develop that side of us. There's a saying that says good is the enemy of great. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we're just comfortable because it's always been that way, and we've never really had to step out of our comfort zones and start to imagine ourselves in even bigger roles, um,
Mm-hmm.
with and without our career paths. And you just touching on that, I feel like is just something that we all needed to hear. And the fact that the peace that you spoke of earlier, the peace God gives us, the peace that passes all understanding, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you can talk about something like this, that sometimes it shakes people's confidence, people's, just steadiness. Um, and, not too many people can just talk about it freely because it's a sensitive topic. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Of
I
course, I
know.
do. Yeah, I want to be able to, because I know this affects a lot of us,
Yes.
and I want to be the voice that says, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Your job does not define you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the experience that you have gathered so many years, the faithfulness, the
Right.
showing up, that's not
Right.
in vain. This is something that you take with you. Your
Mm,
boss doesn't keep that.
mm,
You keep that with you, and you take it with you, and you start and
mm,
you build, you
mm.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to start thinking that, okay, do I want to go find another job, or do I
Hmm.
want to start developing myself? Do I want to, now that one door has closed, do I want
Hmm.
to now jump into the thing that I've been so hesitant on or fearful of? Is this the time? And so many people are going through that stage of their lives. So I love that you're able to put a face to some of the things that everybody, or at least we know someone who's going through it, and
Hmm.
we're able to just relate. That's amazing. That's amazing. So in this uh chapter of, okay, so let me put it this way.
Hmm.
If your life had chapters as opposed to job titles, and you have
Hmm.
many of the job titles
Hmm.
on your resume, but if your life was in chapters, what chapter do you think your current situation is, and why do you think so?
Okay, so I would title my chapter Inspired.
Hey, I love it.
Inspired by Philip. Well,
All
that's how
right.
I would call myself. My
Okay, because
last
your
name
last
Philip.
name is Philip. Okay. All
But
right.
I would title my chapter Inspired by Philip. And the
Okay.
reason why I'm saying that is, as I'm going through this transition period and understanding the purpose for this transition period, I know it's not in vain. You
Hmm.
know, it's something that has been in me, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to inspire women, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to realize that they are born, you know, um, they don't have to choose between being a professional
Mm-hmm.
and being a visionary, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I've been in so many years, like now I'm at anybody that's at a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
I want to inspire you that you can turn that into a legacy, right? So my goal right now is to be a voice to women, be a voice to try to inspire women. And I know there's someone out there who's probably sitting out wondering what's next for me. I
Next.
don't want to choose. I don't want to choose between my career, even though I don't have a choice
Mm,
right now. But I'm scared or I'm afraid or I'm like waiting for the right moment.
mm-hmm,
I want to just encourage you
mm-hmm.
that you already have what it takes. You don't have to choose. You don't have to, like, you already have what it takes. And
Yeah.
having God as your guide, He will
Yes.
lead you. Whatever it is that you've been putting in your side pocket, or,
Mhm. Go
this is
dust
the
it off.
time, go dust it off and go for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I am now.
Yeah.
One of my goals, and
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
gonna hold
Talk
me
to us.
accountable. You're gonna hold me accountable on this,
I will. I
Shola.
will.
I wanna start a YouTube channel.
All right.
Yeah.
Come on. Come
So I
on.
wanna have a voice, and I feel like the best ways to speak to women in the YouTube space
I
and
got you.
social media to reach as many people as I can, so that
Mhm.
it's not just sitting with me, and
Yeah.
and I want to be able to use this space to just bring hope,
Oh,
inspire people. And that's where I feel like God is leading me to,
yes.
and more to come. But that's exactly where I feel.
I can't wait. You know what's ironic? My
Yeah,
next video, and I just need to edit it, and I've held on to it for like 2 weeks. It's been
yeah,
so busy. My next video is about the YouTube starter kits, like the things that I've pulled together
yeah.
that if you want to start a YouTube channel, just get these things. Because a lot of people are hesitant because
Okay.
they think, oh
Yeah,
gosh, I have to do this, that. At least I thought that.
yeah.
And just the basic things that you need and what I've used and that has helped me just, start this channel. I wanted to share with a lot of women who are either maybe they're teachers and they just want to create a video, or they have like they want to start a new YouTube channel. So that's my next video, and
I'm
I
going
love
to be on the lookout for it for sure, because I
that.
need those
Please.
special nuggets
Yes, yes, yes,
and
yes.
tips.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. Yes, we're gonna talk after this, after we finish this interview, but that is awesome. We are almost at the end. I can't believe it. We're almost at the end of this video. I wish we could keep talking, but I
Right.
know that we're gonna have another session, especially when you start your YouTube channel. I want to be one of your guests.
Absolutely. Yes, I would love that for sure.
Yes. Okay, so my last question is if, okay, let's say you've heard a lot of TED Talk speakers and so many great topics. I want to know if what my career didn't teach me, if that was your TED Talk title, what will that be about?
Hmm.
If you were going to give women a tip or something that they should look out for, or even women, like my daughter is in her first year of college, what are some of the things that she should know that she's going to have to do on her own, that her career didn't is not going to teach her, that she's going to have to learn on her own? What are one of the things that you can share?
Okay, so as I think through this, the one thing that I would say is kind of like a renewal of your mind, because,
Mm,
it's a mindset, you
yes,
know. I
it
think
is.
everything that you set out to do, if you don't have the right mindset,
Yeah.
nothing would work out the way it's supposed to. So I feel like mindset is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the verses to me that keeps me going
Mm-hmm.
is the Philippians 4:8. I think it's Philippians 4:8.
Okay.
And it says, whatever things are pure. Let me see, I have it here.
Whatever things
Um,
are pure,
whatever things are true,
noble,
whatever things are pure, whatever
pure.
things are noble, whatever
Mhm.
things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are
Good.
lovely. If there's any virtue and if there's anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things.
Yes.
So it's all mindset, Don't think negative. Don't think what if
Mm.
this doesn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
What if,
Yeah.
it's a flop? don't think that.
Mhm.
Think positive.
Yeah.
Speak positive, it will work out because
Yes.
God allows whatever God allows, He always provides.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I also said, I tell myself,
Mm-hmm.
whether I have a business, whether I have my career, whether I have a job,
Mm-hmm.
it's not my source. God is my source.
Mm. Yes.
I do not work for a paycheck. I work for purpose,
Mm.
right? Every no, because you're going to get no in this life,
Yeah.
every no is a redirection, and every yes is a confirmation of the path that has God has set before you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll get no in life,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that,
Mm-hmm.
there's something bad. That's a just a redirection.
Yeah.
And God is leading you to where He wants you to be. Yeah.
Yes. I love that answer. I love that because rejection is inevitable. Rejection is going to come in one form or the other. How do we
Hmm.
react to rejection? How do we take that rejection and, like you said, pivot to something that God is aligning you towards?
Hmm.
And how do you just develop in the space where you feel like it may be dark and or you're in a waiting season, waiting for one thing or the other? How do you use that period to develop the patience,
Hmm.
endurance, perseverance? Everyone is going to need that. And so I love that answer, Irene. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you so much for your wisdom, for everything you shared. When we started this, we literally didn't know where we were going with this
We
conversation,
had no
but
idea. Yeah.
I think it was so rich. I believe it's going to impact so many women who are going through times, challenging times, and successful times, because either way, you really have to stay grounded. You have to know what your purpose is. And that purpose is that word purpose is thrown around so often, and sometimes we lose the meaning of it.
Hmm.
But God is the source of our purpose because He made us and He
Amen.
whispers things to us that we know that we need to develop in, and it's our job to pay attention. So thank you so much, Irene. I appreciate your time. I cannot wait till you launch that YouTube channel. And
Yes, it's
if you
coming.
have a name, let us know. I will definitely put it on this video just so people can look out for it. But yes, thank you so much for your time and this great conversation.
Thank you so much, Shola. I appreciate you having me. I had a great time and
Mm,
it felt so good. It felt natural.
so
Thank you
natural.
for, yeah, definitely. I
Thank
had a
you
great
so
time.
much. Thank you for your time. I love that. And if you have something to share with our audience, as a woman of purpose, a woman of faith, a career woman, a woman in tech or business, please reach out to me. What is it that you see yourself as, and beyond your career? What are things that you've been thinking about in this climate, in this new economy that we're facing, the advent of AI and everything? Put it in the comments section. Let's continue that conversation. And until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.